Yo, welcome to Back in the Booth. I am the local celebrity. I appreciate y'all for tuning in with me today. We have a special guest, ZauNB Booker. Go ahead and introduce yourself, my boy.
Hello, hello. My name is Ahzaun Booker. Me and the local celebrity. We go to school together, and I do acting, I do artwork, I do music.
This man does everything.
Not
You do
everything.
everything, ZauNB. This man draw, rap, he could sing, he could act, he can make me cry. Like you can do everything. That's hard. You can make me cry. That's pretty tough.
I
Okay.
made you cry? When did I make you cry?
You did. Third semester. What was it? Top dog, underdog. You made all of us cry. So yeah, man. Tell us about yourself. Like, give us a little bit of your background. How'd you start doing all this amazing things?
I feel like I was always encouraged, just growing up, to try stuff. You know what I mean? So anything that I had a mild interest in, like I was encouraged to give it a shot. And
Mm.
acting was, high on that list because ever since I could walk and talk, I was performing. So, I just kind of kept doing that because I enjoyed it and figured out how to get better. And I had so many people in my life that poured into me, like from elementary school. I had so many directors that took, extra time out of their day or out of their, rehearsal time to work with me one on one because I guess they saw something, and I'm extremely grateful. Um,
No, that's a blessing. That's a blessing for real. A lot of black kids don't get that, if I'm gonna be honest with you.
that's
You have
true,
a mild interest in anything, it's like, okay, so what? Get to school. Like, we don't care about what you're interested in. Get in
right?
them books. That's what I hear. That's what I heard.
Right, exactly. And no, that's super huge, especially because I went to elementary school in DISD, right? So that school district is not, and a lot of my mentors, in the arts were, white folks, and it's crazy, but I'm super grateful to be, fed into in that way, and I just
Yeah.
try to keep on doing things that interest me, and I try to do the best at everything that I've committed to. So
Yeah. And it shows too, just from knowing you, what, 14 months, 15, 14 months? I don't even know right now. But just
mhm,
from knowing you, which is not long, I could tell that, whatever you were interested in, your mom or your parents, whatever teachers supported you. And I think that's really important. And I want all parents to be like that. But, that's wishful thinking. So,
right.
but yeah, you got lucky, man. You got
I
lucky.
did. I did. I have a lot of people in my life that I'm not even gonna necessarily say are less fortunate. They're just different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody has a different origin story, so to speak. So it's a good opportunity to use that, take that perspective. I'm super big on perspective and use it as a reason to thank God and also use it as a learning opportunity about how things can be different and what that means and
Yeah.
how that makes people and accept and love people in a way that honors that.
Yeah. And I think even just thinking about it like that, I wish I had that support. But hey, at the end of the day, I'm still here trying to figure it all out with, you know, the support that I do have, or the way that I have the support, because your support and my support probably was totally different. But at the end of the day, like, we're still here at the same place and we're both about to graduate in a month.
Right. And that's a sort of a testament on why people need each other, right? Because everybody has, different strengths, different weaknesses, different experiences. And so because of, either your lack of support or your different kind of support, you may be better or stronger at certain things than I am. So in that regard, we need each other so that in a certain circumstance where I'm weak or I'm, ignorant to something, that could be your strong suit because it's like, well, I had to figure this out by myself. So it's on, let me show you. You know what I mean? So that's why people need each other.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So what was your first love? Like the first thing you remember that you was like, man, this I enjoy this. This is fun, or I want to do this when I grow up. What was that?
I think I think it was acting, if I'm being honest with you. Um, because like I said, I mean, as soon as I could walk and talk, I was performing. I was putting on a show in my living room, you know. In elementary school, I was really focused on that. Like I did almost every school play, and what took me away from it for a while was just, you know, growing up and doing the whole puberty thing, you know, like I didn't do the fifth grade play, and then I went into middle school and it was like super awkward phase, and you know, I'm too cool for that and all that, you know, lame stuff. And you know, even through high school, I mean, you start high school, it's really, or at least for me, it was intimidating. So the first 2 years of high school, I didn't do anything, and the last 2 years, I was like, you know what? You know, I miss acting. I had a lot of fun doing it. Let me try to get back in. And I got two lead roles back to back in those. I hadn't done anything, and that sort of reignited. And after high school, I didn't do any shows in college. I went to UTA, but I did. You know, I was still pursuing acting. I was still looking at auditions and doing Talent Inc. and stuff.
Yeah, because you were in college, you were a track star.
My second love, yeah. It when I stepped away from acting, I just went, like, you know, full opposite direction. I was, I guess, really trying to get away from it at that point. But no, I really loved track, and I thought as well that I was gonna do that for the rest of my life. I thought I was gonna go to the Olympics, and that was a genuine goal of mine. But you know, life takes you in crazy directions, and I got to college. I didn't get the scholarship that I wanted, but I was like, oh, I'm still gonna run, and then I got in a car accident and I got hurt, and then COVID, and then you know they took me off the track team because they were like, well, you're not putting up the numbers that we want, and I had barely even run for that team. We only did indoor season, and they said I wasn't putting up numbers.
So let's talk about the acting. What led you back to it after? Because you came to KD how many years after that?
Almost. I mean, college is it was a weird thing for me because I went to UTA for 2 years. I went in for architecture, hoping to get a track scholarship, didn't get it.
Let's add that to the list, y'all.
I switched off of architecture so fast. It was during COVID, and my brain is not built for what I call COVID university. I really couldn't learn that way, you know, like just doing online classes, being stuck in my dorm all the time. And I felt like I was going insane, you know, so I was like, I got to get out of here.
For sure.
So I left UTA, and it was like 2 more years where it was just me, work, and my comic book. That's all I was doing. And then after those 2 years, I was getting ready. I think when we started Katie, I was just about to get ready to publish my book.
Y'all hear that? Publish a comic book. This man does everything. What the hell?
I
And you
just
drew everything for the comic book, right? That was that.
No, 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 no. I can't take all that credit. I wrote the story. I designed the characters, but I do have artists that work under me, and they kind of take my designs and put it into each page, and you know, we all work together. I was originally doing it all myself, but that was so much work, and there wasn't enough hours in the day. You know, throughout all of that, while I was, you know, doing my comic book and stuff, I still had a serious interest in acting, and I was debating, like, do I want to go to school, or do I want to just go take classes, or do I just want to try an audition? And so I did Talent Inc., which they take you through classes, and then you meet agents at the end. And I did end up getting an agent. It was like a year after that convention, and I thought I hadn't got anything, and an agent reached out. And
And then you, after that, you came to KD, or
no, no, when we first started, I didn't have the agent. It was like,
oh, you got the agent while you were at KD.
right, yeah, I was like halfway through
Hmm.
second semester, I think, where I got it.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, it was super exciting, but I just wanted to pursue it in a more serious way, so I went to KD, and the rest is
So,
history.
do you feel like KD is fulfilling all your needs? As far as acting.
I do. It's scratching the itch, if that makes any sense. And I'm super confident that, there's going to be a lot of reward, a lot of things that opportunities that are opened up or come out of it. I am really confident, and I'm so proud of our class and how far we've come. Even you. I mean, when I first met you, it was like, does she really want to be here? You know? And then you like slowly opened up.
Yeah, I'm the type of person, it takes me a long time to open up to people.
Hmm.
And I remember talking about it, man, these kids are opening up pretty quickly with each other. And I just don't know how to do that. It takes me a minute. And then I think sharing stories with each other, seeing everyone else cry, I was like, okay, maybe I can open up a little bit more, you know? So over time, I did open up. And I think for me too, it's like seeing everybody else open up kind of makes me feel safe enough to do that. But I definitely wanted to be there. I just didn't know how to open up to people
Yeah.
or to the
Yeah.
teachers or go in front of a class and talk about my feelings.
Yeah.
But I'm figuring it out still. So yeah, Katie is definitely an experience. I definitely want to be there though. So
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. You showed me. You showed me. It was just the first impressions, you know. It was like, hmm. But I thought that about a few people though. It wasn't just you. It was just like, let's see, who all wants to be here, you know? When you like, it's like when we were talking about people a little bit earlier. It's like you gotta, if that's not something that makes them happy or that ignites that spark, then that's not something that I want for you anymore. I want you to be excited about what you do. So if that's not here with us, then go do, where that is, right?
yeah,
So,
exactly that. That's true. That's 100 right there. I ain't got nothing else to say to that.
there's days where, I mean, I'm sure for all of us, there's days where it's like, man, I'm tired, man, that traffic. But it very quickly melts away once we all start doing what we love to do, which I appreciate. But sometimes it's hard
Yeah,
because, like you said, with Top Dog Underdog and even the one that we're doing now from A Raisin in the Sun, it's like I know I have that in me, but and it's not that I'm not comfortable with y'all, but just
yeah,
it's not a fun place to be in mentally. So when we're doing rehearsal, right, it's I don't want to make it stale if that makes any sense.
yeah. Yeah, so let's talk about that. So when you're in class and you're acting on those emotions of being angry, sad, whatever, how do you get yourself out of it and not to stay in that all day long?
It's kind of hard to explain. Whenever I'm acting, I am the character, and it's almost like tunnel vision, right? And I don't know. Have you ever have you ever, I guess, either not drink enough water or haven't eaten and you stand up too quick and how like your peripheral vision just goes dark for a second. You're like, am I about to pass out?
Yeah, definitely been there before, multiple times.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that all throughout the scene. And whenever the scene ends, I have to make sure that my peripheral vision spreads back out to go, oh, wait, I'm in class. Oh, I'm doing a scene. And I know that I'm doing a scene in the middle of it. It's not like I'm, going method, but it's like I'm so what's the word? Like I'm wrapped up in it. I'm so committed to that it's real for me. I'm actually really good right now. But you let the emotion take you wherever it needs to go, and then you kind of exhale it out, and then you're okay.
Yeah. I know sometimes you have to step out of class or take a 5-minute mental break.
Hmm.
If you want to share with us what you're doing. Like, are you breathing? Are you talking to yourself in the mirror? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, and definitely breathing. That's something that I kind of have to do, and it's just the practice that I have because I have asthma. So it's like, get your breath under control first and foremost, and then I kind of just talk to God for a little bit, not off of anything, super heavy, but just kind of grounding myself and being thankful and saying, everything's okay, and then, back to work we go.
Yeah. And I think it's super helpful too when we have the teachers making sure that you're okay too,
Hmm. Absolutely.
after certain scenes or whatever, they check on you. Yeah, definitely. So, who's your favorite? I already know the answer, but who's your favorite actor?
My favorite actor. I think who you think is not who I'm gonna pick. I do really like him, but I'm gonna probably go with Daniel Kaluuya. That's just off the
The,
top of my head.
is that the dude from Get Out, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, he
Just be,
is good.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's his ability to be emotional and stoic at the same time is insane to me. Yeah, I don't know how he does it. And he does the Will Smith tear, like the one teardrop at a time, looking right into the camera.
Yeah.
It's like I
Yeah.
got to figure out how to do that.
Like in that one scene from Get Out when he was in the chair. I think
Yeah,
about that scene a lot.
yeah.
And I'm just like, wow, how many takes did that take? Because I don't know if I got enough tears, man,
You're right.
to
Yeah,
keep
that's
doing.
you telling the director, "Look, I got 5 tries. After that, I don't know what to tell you." You know.
Y'all gonna have to get that fake tear stuff in the back. I don't know, but yeah, he's good. I like him. He
hmm
was in another movie. I'm trying to think of the name.
Judas and the Black Messiah. He was in a Black Mirror episode.
Slim
He's done.
and Queen, Queen and Slim.
Yes, yes, he was in Queen and Slim. Yep.
Okay, yeah. Listen, so you act, you sing, but we're not gonna talk and rap, but we're not gonna talk about that right now. Let's talk about your comic book.
Okay.
Let's talk about your comic book. Now, what inspired you to start? I know you said it was during COVID, but do you have any inspiration?
So really, the concept of my book started when I was 14, and I had an English class. I had to do, I mean, you remember reflections assignments where you had to write an
Yeah.
essay about or write something about something. And I asked my teacher, which this is again one of those teachers that just saw something and was always pouring into me and pushing me and so I asked her, I was like, I I really hate writing essays. I hate it. Can I do a screenplay instead for my reflections assignment? She said, "Oh yeah, absolutely. That'd be interesting." And I wrote a really rough version of what my comic book, ended up being, and I read it for the class. And my teacher and my classmates were like, "Well, what happens after that?" And everybody was super interested in it. So I was like, "Well, I guess I'll keep working on it." But I'm in high school. I'm running track and all this stuff. So it was just kind of a when I have time, when I feel like it kind of thing. And I talked to my mom, and she was like, "Well, you should do a novel." And I'm just like, "No, I think I'm more visual than that. I want to do like a show." And I was like, "I don't have show money, but I can draw, so maybe I'll do a comic book." Um, and so I just kind of started drawing the character and fleshing out the story, and kind of inspired by Miles Morales, Spider-Man and the Flash, and just kind of combine those things. And I wanted to give Dallas a superhero because I feel like all the superheroes are in New York. So I'm gonna make that, and then off to the races I went.
Yeah. Shout out to your mom also. She cool. So comic books, and I know you have merch, right? You have hoodies and shirts, long sleeve and short sleeve, and
Yep.
some
Got
hats, right?
hats. Yep. Yep. Yep.
So tell the people where they can find all this, and I'll also drop it in the comment section so you guys could click the link and support my boy Ahzaun. Tell them where they can find it.
So that's I'm on Instagram, so it's gonna be Bound Official with a zero instead of O in Bound, and then all the merch is gonna be on my website. You can order books from me as well. That's gonna be Bound Comic dash Booker dot squarespace.com.
Yeah, I'm gonna have that down in the comment section so you guys could just click it and go straight to his Instagram, straight to buy some merch to support him. Appreciate y'all. Bet. So now, how did how do you design your merch? Like where you get it from? I know you have a logo on it, right?
hmm
Like talk to us about that.
So all the graphics, like the logos and stuff, I designed that myself. Like I said, I went to school for graphic design for a little bit, so I just kind of know how to do that stuff, which is convenient. And then Squarespace is, I mean, it's not a sponsorship or anything, but like, Squarespace is just a really awesome tool, like that's where I do my website through, and there's a section where they will kind of create and fulfill your merch orders for you. They go through a third party, but I go in and design how I want it to look. And whenever you guys order the merch, they print it to order. And we just added some new stuff on there that is embroidered, so it's a little bit nicer and it'll match the hats and stuff. So yeah, it's really just Squarespace being awesome, to be honest.
Yeah, I need to get me a hoodie now. It's getting cold. So I need to get me a hoodie and maybe a long sleeve. So y'all need to support him. I know it's winter time, so let's buy up all his hoodies, all right? So who's your favorite superhero or supervillain?
Okay, so superhero, I have to go with Miles Morales, Spider-Man. The black kid that's Spider-Man though specifically. Villain, that one's hard. Probably I don't know, like Magneto or like Doctor Doom or something like that. Somebody who's real, just evil for the sake of being evil. Like a lot of movies now have villains where it's like, you can really relate to them. It's like, oh, that makes sense. But there's still a place, at least for me, for people who are just bad for the sake of being bad. Because I feel like if you make your villain too relatable, then it's like your audience begins to sort of split itself, and it's like, oh, maybe he's spitting. Hold on, and now those people that are relating to the villain look crazy. You know what I mean? So it's like maybe not so much on that. You know?
I get that. I know you didn't want to talk about it, but we're just going to touch base a little bit about your music because I want people to know that you have this range of awesome things. So we're just going to touch on it a little bit.
Hmm.
Now, your rap name is, let the people know.
Zombie.
I love it. I love it. I definitely have supported a few of your rap battles. That's what it felt like to me. It wasn't a rap battle, but that's the vibe it was given.
Yeah.
So I definitely support you. So just talk about it a little bit. What inspired the ZauNB name? Because I love it. And what inspires your rap? Like, are you trying to, like, your flow is different. So is
Yeah.
there any inspiration behind all that?
So actually, I started in high school in secret because my family, like my dad and a few of my cousins, had somewhat of a music group called A Life, and they would make music or just post little raps online and stuff like that. So I made a secret account and started like challenging them. I would be on a beat rapping, and they'd be like, "Yo, who is this kid keeping up with us?" At first, um, I couldn't think of a rap name, and I was just like, "What do I like? I like Mickey Mouse, I guess." So I just started going by MC Mouse, and that's what my page was. And then eventually, my cousins they figured out it was me. I did a few. I never published or put out anything as MC Mouse, I don't think. But after a while, I changed my name to some a little bit less like soft. Zombie is just the end of my name and the first letter of my last name. So, and I thought it was cool how it's zombie, and I just kind of made that my thing, like the undead rapper kind of thing. Because like the lore is that like the fans killed MC Mouse, in that when he came back as zombie. Yeah, that's when I started rapping for real and taking it a little bit more seriously. But you know,
Because it's giving J. Cole when I hear
really,
you sometimes.
man,
Yeah.
that's a huge compliment. I mean, I didn't want to do the mainstream mumble and drugs, sex, and that kind of stuff. There was a point where I was like, I'm not gonna cuss in my music at all. I'm gonna be on the Will Smith thing. But as I got older, I was like, I'm finding that I'm censoring myself, and that's taking away from what I actually want to say. So I'll speak freely. Um, and I like upbeat things, and I like to fill up 16s and bars and stuff with words that actually go together and make sense. Like I like metaphors, but I don't like the whole song being metaphors and just like, oh, it's this and like this, you know what I mean? Because it's like it's almost like a diary or a journal, you know what I mean, where I'm kind of just talking. And I think that might be where you're getting the J. Cole vibes from because yeah, like I mean he's a huge inspiration for me, but like when I go to write something, I just kind of want to talk and then happen to make it rhyme, you know?
No, it's good. It's good. It's giving like you're filling up, you said the 16. That's what you
Right,
said? You're filling up the
right.
16. Yeah, and I could hear that. I don't know beats and counts and all that type of stuff, but when I'm like, is he gonna breathe? Like he's just like bam, 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 bam. And it's not no mumble, it's words that actually are words. But when I hear you rap, I'm like, this man is educated. He's smart, and you just have a flow. So I think it all ties together very well. I would like to hear more.
The goal, to make music that makes you pay attention, you know, instead of just, oh, it's background noise, we're just bobbing our head to. It's just like, no, listen to what I'm saying, you know. So
I like it. You should keep doing it. Keep making more, if you feel like it.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'll be back when I have some more to say because I've been wanting to comment on state of hip hop, but it's so crazy right now that it's kind of like I'm just watching and gathering life experience to talk about.
Yeah. So, what's your top three rap? Let's do artists first, and then we could talk about
Okay.
albums. Now, of all time, not like right now, the top
Okay.
three rappers of all time.
Of all time. I mean, I think Eminem is still up there for me.
Oh yeah.
Biggie is huge for me. And I mean, it is relevant now, but I do think Kendrick is also up there, as far as just
Yeah,
being lit.
definitely.
Um, so many people. It's hard to just pick three because it's like J.
I
Cole,
know.
it's Tupac, it's even Childish Gambino, like Donald Glover. So many people who just talk, and I follow some more underground like indie independent people, that I kind of learned how to rap from those people. So
Yeah.
so many.
Lil Wayne gonna be mad he ain't make the list.
He's definitely on my list for sure. I don't know if it's top three, but if we're talking about albums, his album is on there.
Let's
So
do top three rap albums of all time.
I think just in terms of like hip hop, I think the Carter 5 is an amazing album and it's one of my favorites. I have it on a vinyl. I don't know what it is. It's such like a emotionally vulnerable and real rap album. You know what I mean? Another one would be, let's see. I think because the internet from Childish Gambino is a good one. It's a little bit unorthodox. It's kind of like the way I describe Childish Gambino is like he's Tyler before Tyler. You know what I mean? So it's yeah, it's just weird, but it's actually good lyrical placement and bar construction in there. And then let's see. There's so many. You're stressing me out. Oh man, JID's up there too. See what you're doing. I'm gonna pick though, just as far as like favorite albums, Legends Never Die from Juice World. Juice World's last album. I also have that on vinyl, but I can't play it because my record player it doesn't it doesn't have the speed setting so that I can play it at the correct speed. It's so upsetting. But yeah, Legend Never Die is a great album as well.
Yeah, I never heard this one. Let me listen to it. I'm gonna add it to my playlist here. I'm gonna check
Yeah,
it out.
it's sad because it's the last album that Juice World did before he passed. So just kind of brace yourself. But just the thing about Juice World is like he's a rapper, yes, but he combines so many genres into his music. Like he combines rock and pop and hip hop all into one song. So it sounds like super different, but all the different instruments just kind of complement because Juice is a lyricist at the end of the day. And he's actually borderline battle rapper. I mean, and people would say Juice would get in the studio, tell the engineer to cut on a beat, record a song straight through, no stops, and then cut the track, and then the producer be like, "All right, we're done," and then Juice will be like, "Start the beat over," and then record a completely different song on that same beat. and then he'll give that to his agent or his record label and be like, which hit do you want? They're both hits. You know what I mean? So like Juice was just like that. So it doesn't really, regardless of what music he's rapping over, it's it's gonna make sense, and it's gonna be catchy. It's gonna be like, you just trust me. Like I think you have a good time with that album.
All right, I'm gonna take a listen. I'm gonna trust you, and I'm gonna listen to it. Do you have any dream collaborations, like a rapper that you want to team up with and rap with on an album, on a diss track?
Hey, look, you said diss track. I don't think I could keep up with Kendrick, to be honest. I would love to collaborate with JID though. I feel like that'd be fun. I would love to collaborate with Cole. Um, I for the longest time I was like, I want to collaborate with Childish Gambino, but the last couple albums, the last one, this recent one, I was kind of like, I don't know, maybe Childish Gambino from like 5 years ago. I'll collaborate with him.
Got Childish Gambino. Is it Jid or JID? Because I don't
I think
know.
I
I
don't know.
hear it different.
He pronounces it different depending on the song,
Exactly.
so I don't know.
That's like six lakh, but it's black. So tell us what you're most excited about as far as your future,
hmm
because you are a multi-talented man. So is there anything like you're looking forward to, that you're excited about?
I mean, to be honest, like I struggle a lot, and I mean, I used to struggle more. I've gotten kind of better at making my peace with it, but I struggle a lot with like deciding. Everybody says like you can be okay at a lot of things, but great at none. And I struggle with that because there's so many things I want to do, and it's like, which one am I gonna run with? And honestly, it could be any of them. And I've made my peace with that. Like I'm gonna pursue all of them to the best of my ability until God or life keeps me from doing so. But if whether it's the music, whether it's the acting, whether it's the comic book, whichever one is a blessing in my eyes, because it's like this is something that I like to do, and I get to do it for my career. And it doesn't take away from my love of the other things, right? It may hinder my ability to do as much of it, but if I'm doing my comic book full time, and I've got my comic book company and we're opening stores, and that doesn't mean that I can't write a little 16 whenever I feel like it, right, and post it on the internet. So yeah, just wherever the success takes me, I guess, is I've made my peace with stepping away from the other things if need be.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Do you feel like you have to focus solely on one thing at a time, or you can multitask and spread yourself through the music, through the comic, through the acting? Do you feel like you could do that?
I think there's seasons, like right now I'm in a season of honing my craft in acting, and that is where my attention is needed. And all of my other things, like my comic book and all the things that I have planned for that next year, are still in the back of my head, and there's still things that I'm sort of putting into place. Like I talked to somebody about some artwork the other day, and but the majority of my focus, I do think, needs to be depending on the season, right? Like if I'm working towards a goal, right, which is getting my acting degree, then that's where most of my attention needs to be. But if I'm not working towards a goal, then yeah, sure, I can multitask. I can do a little bit here, a little bit here. You know what I mean? But in terms of having something that you're striving for, and as long as it's specific, like, oh, I want to go to a comic book convention next year. So, my acting degree will be done, and that is my goal. So that's where my attention will be, right? Until we do that, and then we shift gears. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. And I like that. I like your perspective on it. I hear, a lot of people have different perspectives of I have to focus on this one thing, be successful at that, and then I move on to the next thing and then be, successful at that. So I do like your perspective. If there's not a goal, then hey, I'm just gonna do all the things I love until there's a goal that needs to be met. Now I'm focused. But thank you for joining me today and having this lovely conversation. I definitely enjoyed it. It's been fun. Now, let the people know one more time your Instagram, okay? And where to find your merch and your comic book. Let them know the name too, so I could I'm going to have all that in the comments, but let them know one more time.
Okay, so my comic book is called Bound. You can find me at Bound Official. It's B0UND_official on Instagram, and my website is right in the bio on there. You can also follow AComic Booker on Instagram, just a.comic.booker. That is my comic book, company, essentially. That's where I do not just Bound stuff, but any other comic books I might be doing or just any artwork that I do. ZauNB, Z4UN_B, also Instagram. And then just following my day in the life stuff is just Ahzaun Booker on Instagram.
Hey, y'all follow my boy. But yeah, that's it for today, man. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate your time. I know that the people will appreciate it too. For sure. So yeah, that's it, y'all. Tune in next week for my next episode. Peace.
Deuces.